And we're back with another one.
Fire away.
Podcast number 5, guys. Very, very exciting. Like I said in my last video, we're going to be talking a little bit more about estate planning and kind of the importance of that pre-retirement, but also as you go into those more retirement years, how to properly establish those things so things transition well, right? Avoiding probate, taxes, all that kind of stuff, right? We don't want things to just be jumbled up when that time comes.
Or any other time.
Or any other time. Yeah. Exactly. So making sure those things are structured well is very, very important. So I'm going to let the guy who's doing it for a little longer than me take it away.
So estate planning sounds intimidating, but for most of us, it's just your basic plan of action should anything happen or when things do happen. Mm-hmm. It's your will. It's the instructions to those who are left behind as to what they should do, how you structured things, how to make it run smoothly. So especially when you're young, this is way before retirement, but you're like when you're starting a family, for instance. And that's the ones that procrastinate it the most, it seems like. Well, everybody procrastinates, but you have kids, something happens to mom and dad, who's going to take care of the kids? Who's going to take care of the kids' money?
Yep.
How are they going to take care of the kids' money? How do they distribute that money?
Yep.
Who's going to be the executor of your estate? That means who's going to get all the stuff taken care of after death. I'm sorry, but that's what we're talking about in this situation. To make sure bills are paid and things are distributed. And what I can tell you, after a lot of years, that is a
how many years?
Difficult job.
Specifically, how many?
37.
38.
38. Anyhow, going on 39, maybe. So maybe. I hope.
Otherwise, we'll need some estate planning for
it. Yeah, that's a great idea. I better get on that. Anyhow, where was I? Executor. So executors take care of all the stuff after you pass away. You got to make sure that they understand what that means when you ask them to be your executor, because they may not want to do it. But it's important. It's critical. Don't want to scare anybody away, but I mean, somebody has to do it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that we've seen that needed quite a few times over the years. So it's unfortunate, but I always see people kind of fearful, like what you were saying about it. Like, if I plan for it, it's like a reality. But I mean, it's a reality either way.
It's a reality. It's a 100% chance.
But people are sometimes scared to face that mortality, I guess.
Mortality.
Sometimes,
so. Yeah. So trusts aren't really that complicated either. If you're just like taking a testamentary trust, it's for the kids. I can't get into too many legal stuff because I'm not an attorney, but it's important to educate people and get them to think along those lines. So as we are putting together the plan and the financial framework, that we just don't think about it today, but we think about all the situations that can occur from now on, and how does this all flow together, right? Yep. And it's the tax stuff too.
Yeah,
absolutely, because it's all interconnected.
Yeah,
sure.
The story you always tell me that makes me think about it is like, the grandfather dies, right? And then, they need some executors for the estate, right? So that the kids don't get this money, and then cousins start coming out of the woodworks, estranged family members or friends or whatever, and they're like, hey, I heard you got some money recently. I need X, X, and X, just different stuff like that. So making sure that stuff is planned in a will and it's kind of dictated to you, so you can say, well, it's all in a trust. I can't really touch it. It's out of my control. The trustee just controls that, and I can't really take it if I don't have a good need for it, right? Because that was dictated to that trust by the grandfather or whoever that person is, right? So making sure that those blessings don't turn into a curse for those people who inherit that money, because they can.
We read about them in the paper, don't we?
Yeah, it's like the lottery or anything else like that. You get those big sums of money, or the ranch or the whatever, and all of a sudden that becomes more of a curse than it was a blessing, because it's just come such a headache.
It's unfortunate too.
Yeah.
That's human nature in many cases, and we can only do so much, but it's so important to just leave a roadmap.
Yeah.
Some instructions for people so they can understand what your intentions and desires were and what you worked so hard to build for yourself or for them.
Yeah.
And this is the way I'd like it to go.
And make sure that roadmap and those instructions are legally binding and not just on on a napkin somewhere, right?
I think napkins or some kinds okay.
Yeah, sometimes in Texas, I think that's how that works. Yeah.
Better to get a little more formal than that, though.
Yeah. But again, yeah.
Don't let me forget, though, powers of attorney. So on our end of it, one of the things we really, really want when we're helping people manage their money is, who do we talk to if we can't talk to you? And that's not that you've necessarily passed away, but you're incapacitated. Incapacitated. Somehow. So things need to be done within your account. It's not a joint account, maybe an IRA, so it's only owned by you. We can't do them unless we have legal approval to talk to somebody else to help us with that.
Yep.
So that's critical, and again, makes things so much easier to make your financial plan run smoothly in those unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah. Medical and financial.
Medical and financial.
Yeah. Not that we're anything to do with medical, but still very, very important. Someone to make medical decisions for you too if you're incapacitated.
Yeah, lots of good attorneys, family law attorneys, estate tax attorneys out there that are much more versed in this. Of course, that, as we've talked about in previous podcasts, that is the attorneys on your team, your CPAs on your team, just like we're on your team. We all communicate and we all coordinate these things.
Absolutely. Yeah, it goes back to the online information, right? There's so much out there, it's hard to decipher and sift through all that with a trained eye. So having someone like us in your court is extremely important to kind of help establish all that correctly from the beginning, right?
What kind of court would that be? Like a legal court or a pickleball court?
Pickleball court, I like. Yeah, pickleball. Yeah, I played last night. But yeah, I think that's a great place to stop. If you want to learn a little bit more about the retirement stuff that we were talking about in our last video, you can click right here. Anyways, yeah, and we can keep this going, and I hope y'all enjoy what we're putting out. If you have any questions, please contact us through the contact link in the description on our YouTube channel, and we'll be back for another video sometime.
Next time.
Yeah, we're going to work on that.
Yeah.